space, the final frontier, as some people call it. But I call it bullshit sometimes, even though when you're trying to turn and you're chilling by a sun inside your asp, I'm just sitting here waiting to see what's going on. Just kind of messing around with my ship. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the update 14 for Elite Dangerous, Odyssey, and everything else. If we're talking about anything new, the main thing is in the galaxy map. As you see here, they're talking about the Thargoid war map options. And this is a section to where, how normally they have power play and they have live and they show like different things on the systems, whether it be anarchy, one is being attacked by hostile forces or has a conflict zone. That is basically and essentially what this is, except it's telling you what is controlled by the Thargoids and whatever systems they're trying to exploit or attack. Mainly, this is trying to get people to do the Azimuth Saga. When they talk about content, it's not content in terms of a new ship, new skills, new weapons, whatever, like it was with the Odyssey itself when they were talking about the Artemis suit, Maverick suit, the footfall weapons, or the scanners. It's a lot of just whatever this specific event is doing. So if you were thinking, oh, update 14, new stuff, the only new stuff we're getting is the Thargoid stuff for the event. So keep that in mind that if you do look at the patch notes and you're like, is there anything new? No, it's especially with Frontier and on their website, it even said that with the patch notes, you would have to go and find out what content they put in because they were vague about a lot of different things. Another thing is the live and legacy modes. As of update 14, version 4.0 will become the live mode in which all new content events will be introduced. Focusing development on a single version branch has already been essential, blah, 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 for the Azimuth Saga. Essentially, they're saying that the live mode will become, like, specifically for events and, I guess, like, early branches of an update, while legacy mode will be continue the unfolding events of the aftermath. We understand that some of our players will have fond memories in the galaxy as it stands for 3.8, and such we will convert version 3.8 into legacy mode. Every player will have a legacy commander profile created from their existing profile with separately tracked progress when update 14 is released. Legacy mode will be accessible from the launcher as separate download from the live game, essentially making like one event mode that does like the Thargoid stuff, the Azimuth Saga, or whichever, and then another mode for everything else, like the background sim stuff for power play, or like doing some type of courier missions and everything from naval progressions. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the FPS and dealing with footfall stuff on Odyssey. Is it improved? Is it a little bit better? Yeah, I would say so. I'm playing about high settings / ultra, and again, they were stating that they made the, I guess you can call them the loading from when you were enter the instance of the settlement, and then as you're approaching the settlement, it shouldn't drop your FPS super low. I've had hiccups here and there, so it's still kind of sketchy to say, but I'd say that they definitely have improved somewhat, if not mostly, a lot of the issues that were wrong with the game. The other thing was with the legacy mode, there'll be no new narrative content such as Galnet or community goals. You'll be still able to affect the galaxy via background sim. Actions in legacy mode will not affect the live game. All cosmetic purchase prior to update 14 will be available across legacy and live versions. Moving forward, some cosmetics will be blah blah into live mode. Whichever. But the main thing that I want to talk about is this last thing, which is playing together on live. A lot of people were having issues being able to connect to friends or some type of like group because they were playing on Odyssey and then other people had Horizons. We understand that since we granted 4.0 access to all PC players, some commanders have been using 3.8 to play with friends who do not yet own Odyssey. With update 14, Odyssey players will have the option to select other Horizons and Odyssey modes within live mode so that playing together remains possible. The other thing I forgot to mention was if you remember when you look at settlements or you look at maybe your contacts manager and it shows the different things, they would show medium, high, or low security before you'd go to that settlement. They got rid of that and now it's just symbols, pluses, and shields. If the shield is full and there's plus signs to it, that means it's probably high security. If it's like no shield or half shield, it's medium or low security. That's my understanding of it. So I think they made it a little bit more simplified and not cluttered with a bunch of letters and stuff inside the context manager. Another thing was I think it was something to do with profile management. So if you have an Xbox and you want to play from your PC to your console, you could do that by taking, I think, a download from your PC in the settings and switching over to the Xbox so you don't ever lose your save. Then people were talking about playing together on live, saying that we understand that since we granted 4.0 access to all PC players, some commanders have been using 3.8 to play with friends who do not yet own Odyssey. With Update 14, Odyssey players will have the option to select either Horizons or Odyssey mode within live mode so that playing together remains possible. Meaning that people that are Odyssey, you can choose between playing Horizons or Odyssey. That's what we can do. Compared to people who have Horizons, they can only play Horizons in the base game. We need Horizons to go back to eventually whenever stuff breaks. So if Odyssey doesn't work, then we go back to Horizons to fix whatever problem there was, and then go right back to Odyssey and mess with it again. So my hope is that I almost called them Crytek, excuse me, I'm talking about another game, Frontier. If Frontier doesn't mess with Horizons and doesn't mess with Odyssey and keeps them separate, then most, if not everything that messes up in Odyssey will be fixed in Horizons. So let's just hope they don't mess with that. Mainly, if you were taking anything from this video, is that there's nothing really new in terms of content-wise, ships, vehicles, or anything more with the Footfall. It's just an event that they're doing with the Azimuth Saga and trying to do more with it, I guess, with the narrative. The other thing I guess I'm going to kind of warn you guys about is when you do play Elite Dangerous, you're going to have to deal with an unskippable cutscene. And it's a new one that's not about this guy talking about humanity, blah, blah, blah. It's about a montage of all the Thargoids murdering human beings and stuff. So, keep that in mind when you play the game. But anyway, I've been One Nut Punch, and this is another video. Thanks for watching as usual, and I'll see y'all later.